Essex Business School is relatively young compared to many in the UK, but it's situated within a very well-established university which is internationally recognised for its intensive research. We're ranked top 20 in the UK for our research, and we have a very strong reputation in social sciences, and it is in the social sciences faculty that the business school, as indeed most business schools, actually sit. Not only are we within a strong academic community, the business school is physically located in the Knowledge Gateway, which is a business park on the edge of the campus, which is for young businesses starting up, maybe 5-10 people. They each take a unit. There's a photo here of one which is about 4 units. There are another 5 of those buildings, and that is a growing business park. It plans to double in size over the next 5 years. We've put in funding, and the local council has put in funding, and this grounds the business school in a genuine business environment, not just an academic environment, but keeps us in touch with what's happening with business, what's happening with startups, what are the issues they're facing, and how can we help them address them. As I say, we tend to double. This is an artist's impression, but the top of the picture that you can see there is in fact the business school as it currently is, and then the innovation centre towards the left with the 4 wings will start being built later this year, and that is for one-person businesses to go in. They'll get support and help from the business school, and for the university have access to experts in their field, and then as they grow they can move into the other office blocks which are around and about the centre. So this grounding, I think, makes us a very strong business school in that it actually means that it keeps our feet on the ground and makes us think about the genuine issues that businesses are having, and so that we can address those on courses like the MBA. The MBA students are obviously a very important part of the course, not simply because they are there to learn, but they are there to contribute as well. As I say to most people I speak to about MBAs, there's about 50% of the learning comes from people like myself standing at the front of a lecture room or in a workshop or in a syndicate exercise, but the other 50% comes from students themselves, in that they learn from each other. If you take a typical student MBA cohort of, say, 30 people, they will typically have, say, an average of about 7 years business experience. That's over 200 years of business experience available in the room to tap into. And it's an obligation of an MBA student to share that knowledge that they have, and then take knowledge from other students, and that sharing is a very important part of the MBA, and that's where we're quite careful about who we choose to come on the MBA, to make sure not only are they able to benefit from the lecturing, but also contribute based on the business experience that they have already. MBAs, by their very nature, are very general education programs, but we've tried to make sure that the Essex MBA hits a particular need for the socially responsible entrepreneur who's looking to develop sustainable business. And by sustainable business, I don't just mean eco-friendly businesses, although that is very important. By sustainable, I'm talking about the 3 Ps of people, planet and profit. That it is looking after environmental issues, but it's also looking after people issues, in that the workers within the organisation are well looked after. The suppliers and the customers are both treated with respect in such a way that both suppliers and customers will be there for the long term and not just for the short term. And also recognising that all businesses need to make some form of profit or have a positive balance in their balance sheet. Who are our current students? Well, our current cohort's 26 strong, great diversity. I'm very proud of the fact we've got over 40% female students, which is unusual for a UK MBA, which gives a great balance within the class. We have students from as wide-ranging as USA, UK, Serbia, Turkey, Iran, Jordan, Russia, Bangladesh, India, Thailand, Taiwan, China, Hong Kong. And this diversity adds to the learning experience, because not only can you speak to people who come from different industries to yourself, but also from different nations to yourself, and you'll leave the Essex MBA with a tremendous network all around the world. The course is structured over a 12-month period. Starts next on the 3rd of October this year with an induction week, followed by a 10-week term for the autumn, 10-week term for spring, and then the summer term, which is mostly exams and the MBA Project. More of those later. The modules that we offer, starting off with an absolutely crucial one that I believe is business research methods. It is absolutely essential that today's business people take evidence-based decisions. And evidence-based decisions only come from effective research to find the right evidence on which to base your decisions. So we'll be talking to you about qualitative and quantitative methods to ensure that you can get the right data and information, you can analyse it correctly, and therefore make the right decisions. You would expect to see business strategy in any MBA, and obviously as is there, with some very strong academics leading that. Global entrepreneurship is at the heart of what we teach in the Essex MBA, and we will come back to that several times during the course, but entrepreneurship is the entrepreneurial spirit is what we want to engender in our students. And then marketing, financial accounting and financial management, absolutely crucial to making sure that you understand and control your business. So many small businesses go broke because they don't understand how to control their business. And the means of production of either the service or the goods, the sustainable operations, it's about ensuring you understand how whatever it is you produce or whatever it is you deliver is created in the first place. In the spring term, we then go on to looking at developing business plans. How would you actually create a business plan for any new venture that you wanted to start? We look at the place of your business within the wider business environment globally. We look at the macro and microeconomics that will affect your business and how you can best organise and motivate and lead the people within your organisation to ensure it delivers what you are seeking it to deliver. And then the Venture Academy, which is about how to set up a new business. It looks at starting from the very scratch, how do you finance it, how do you organise it, how do you run it, and how do you then spin it off if you want to exit by selling it off to somebody else, merge or grow. And finally, you have two optional modules which you choose from our option list. This is the current list. Consulting to organisations, about looking at the psychological effect of helping other organisations and the best way to do that. Leadership and business performance, so it builds on the people and organisations module to look at leading your organisation more effectively to a high performance unit. Public sector management is looking mostly at change, because most public sector management is about change these days, and that's a very strong change management module. Social entrepreneurship takes the spirit of the Essex MBA that it's not all just about profit. It is about planet and it's about people. It's about helping people through social work schemes. And supply chain management, because no business can stand by itself and we all must deliver as a complete supply chain to deliver value for money for our customers. Not all options will run. We will have a discussion amongst the cohort in the first term and actually select which those, because you have to have a viable number to make it run. I think you'll know a lot of business schools who will advertise 40 or 50 modules, but tends to be half of them won't run, and we want to be more realistic and offer you those which we think will be able to run. The crux of your MBA will be the project, and this can take two forms. You can do a dissertation, which is an in-depth piece of research into a problem area you might have. You might want to understand better cocoa trading in Africa, or you might want to understand better financial risk in Eastern Europe. You might want to investigate supply chain issues between China and Europe, for instance, and you could then do an in-depth dissertation on those if that's perhaps you wanted to take your career a new direction and you wanted to become an expert in a particular topic. And that is quite standard across most MBAs across the UK. You will find that that is the normal method as a capstone for the degree. But what we offer here at Essex is also the opportunity to write a business plan, in that you have the ability to write how you want to set up a new business. Once you've completed your MBA, what is the way you are going to run this business? How are you going to find your finances? Are you going to find venture capitalists? Are you going to bootstrap your business? How are you going to set it up? What's the marketing plan? What's the strategy? And that will be your actual project, to come up with a genuine, real-life business plan which you will then be able to take forward once you leave Essex. I think that's quite an exciting option which quite a few students choose. Induction week is absolutely key as you get to know each other. Once you're registered on the first day, then we'll do individual introductions as you start to get to know each other. We'll talk about the business agenda, what's important in the business world at the moment, and we'll introduce one of our key topics, our thread that runs through all modules of sustainability, that people, planet and profit perspective that we want to take on all subjects. Wednesday will remind you about being at university. An MBA by its very nature is more applied than many academic courses, but you still need some academic skills, so we'll talk to you about research. I mentioned evidence-based decision making. Where do you find that evidence? How do you research it? How do you gather it? How do you write it? And then we'll start introducing you to some group work projects that we will have for you. We want you to get together in groups and start to solve some problems. And then on Thursday, once you've had an introduction to the modules that you're going to be doing for the rest of that term, you'll have time to work on those problems, get together in groups, get around the university, find out solutions and answers to those problems, and then on Friday morning present them back. Also on Friday we will start to look at the posters that you have produced. Before you turn up, we'll be asking you to produce some large A1 size posters which advertise something about you. You'll get more details with the joining instructions, but they will be professionally printed. They'll be put up on the wall, and we will ask you to actually use them to present who you are and what you offer the cohort as part of that induction week. Induction week's a really crucial week. It really gels the course together and gets everything off to a good, strong momentum. It is essential that everybody attends. We try to get a lot of external involvement in our course. We have regular visiting speakers from other universities and from business. We do some trips. We've had trips to HSBC in Docklands in the City of London. We've had trips to Cambridge Science Park. We've had trips to German Academic Conference. This coming October, we've got a trip to a local, highly reputable sustainability firm, one of the leading companies for delivering sustainability, and that's Adnams Brewery. The MBA Project will also get you out and about as you go and visit other firms. We've got people, for instance, doing projects with local community health trusts, with local engineering firms, and they will go and meet them. And of course we have our careers service. How do we actually run during the term? Well, we're required by our accrediting bodies to give you 500 hours of timetable time during the year. And don't worry, that's not all lectures by any means. But typically 18 to 25 hours a week, but that will be made up of a few lectures, but also workshops where you'll be given problems to solve, as I've mentioned, some site visits, some directed reading, which we'll expect you to do before you turn up to the lecture, so you actually have some background in the topic for the day. But also group work. We'll give you problems that you'll have to organise in groups to solve and present back solutions. Assignments, as we call them, or coursework, exams, and of course the project, which I've already mentioned. How do you take advantage of this fantastic opportunity? A mere £17,500. I say it slightly tongue-in-cheek, but that's one of the best value MBAs in Britain at the moment for the quality we are giving. And on top of that, there is a £5,000 scholarship to most students who are self-funding. So an exceptionally good value MBA for the quality of input that is delivered. If you've got any questions, then please feel free to type anything in at the moment, or email myself or Becca Costa, our recruiting manager, later on, and we'll be absolutely delighted to answer those. Admissions 2-2 or equivalent degree. The 3 years professional work experience, I've emphasised earlier about students being able to contribute. That is what we're looking for, why we're looking for the 3 years work, is to make sure that you have got great experience to contribute. And the language skills are necessary so that we can have good, open, free-flowing discussions in English. Once you've applied and we've accepted your paperwork, we'll do a Skype, or if you're available, face-to-face interview with myself, and just check that what we can offer you is what you're seeking, and then we'd look forward to seeing you in October.